And, he mentioned too, the money coming from the barns too, funding a lot of this, but also, we didn't feel like we wouldn't have felt right approaching these barns and asking for 10,000 just to hold a head-to-head battle, So what we've done there, to get them engaged and get them involved, 7,500 of the 10,000 goes towards Auctioneer's pot, but 2,500 of that goes to the barn pots, so we're not, holding anything out of that. So if you have a qualifier, so if your head-to-head battle winner goes on to win this whole deal, I don't have it wrote down here, but I think it's going to pay, 60,000, I think, for the sale barn. If your head-to-head qualifier ends up winning the whole deal, it's going to pay that sale barn to win that.
That's a head-on. We live it. The LiveAg podcast. From seed stock bull sales built on generations of performance to commercial video auctions backed by real relationships to equipment auctions that keep operations moving forward. LiveAg connects cattle producers to opportunity. Quality cattle deserve premium prices. The right bulls deserve more buyers, and dependable equipment deserves a fair bid. Whether you're consigning to a LiveAg video auction, marketing seed stock, or moving iron through the equipment exchange, we combine local representation with nationwide reach. Connect with your LiveAg rep by scanning the code on your screen, or visit us online at live-ag.com. We are proud to be powered by Biozyme, the makers of VitaFirm and Gain Smart. Value-added nutrition partners trusted by cattle producers across the country. Now, here are your hosts, Ty D. Cordova and Casey Mabry.
Welcome back to the We Live It podcast. Myself, Ty D. Cordova, and co-host Casey Mabry. We are joined today by Sam Stamper and Brian Marlin of Oklahoma. They are with a new contest I'm sure y'all have seen out on social media. It's a head-to-head auctioneer contest called A League of Their Own. We wanted them to join us today and tell us a little bit about it, how they kind of come up with it, and then kind of where the thing's going. They have some exciting news, and exciting for them and exciting for LiveAg as well. We'll kind of get into that later on. But Sam, Brian, just kind of fill us in on I don't care who goes first, kind of your background. I know, Brian, I've seen you around. I've talked to you a bunch. I've known you for a long time through OKC and all that. Sam, just kind of met you here a couple of months ago, but we all have livestock background and livestock marketing background. Sam, you own the sale barn in Checotah. Just kind of give us a little bit of background on yourselves and where you're from and or where you've been.
Yeah. I grew up on a small ranch there in Beggs, Oklahoma, just south of Tulsa there a little ways. And we ran 40 or 50 cows my whole life, and never were just big operators, but ended up going to college there for 4 years, graduated from Oklahoma State there with an ag business degree, and ended up going to auction school. And that's we'll kind of get into that too. That's how me and Brian kind of got connected there as well. Went to auction school there, and Peyton was there, his son, and that's where I met him. And that's how, we kind of got connected. But anyway, fast forward a little bit. I had a call from a man named Clark Victory. Buys a lot of cattle up our way. I'm sure you've heard of him, Ty. I know Brian's real close with him as well. But got a call from him one day and said, "Hey, I got an opportunity that you might be interested in." He said, "There's a sale barn over here that a man," he said, "is, sales not running many cattle right now, and he's looking to kind of do something different." And he said, "I think it'd be something you'd be interested in." And that's kind of where it all started, was that phone call right there. And I think the sale before we took it over, there's 19 head. That Tuesday is the day it was on. And now we're averaging kind of 600 to 800 a week. And a lot of that to do with all the good help and good customers we got around. But that's kind of how we kind of got into the business there at Checotah.
Who'd you buy that off of?
So we lease the facilities off of Jim Bob Cross.
Okay, I thought it was Jim Bob. Yeah, Jim Bob. Good people. Good people.
Yeah, good man. Yeah, he's been great.
He held my oldest daughter. We went to I don't remember where we were. We was in the mountains somewhere, and at a sale, and I could not get her to quit crying. She was, I don't know, 8 months old maybe at the time. Big Jim Bob was sitting next to me. He says, let me have her. Let me a try. Heck, before it over with, she was asleep in his lap. I mean, he's great people.
No, yeah, he's a good. He shows up. He actually buys for Cavaness out of our barn there, and he'll show up and he babysits our two little girls a lot of the day too. They're at the barn, so they're, like I say, really, really good people. And man, it's been a pleasure to do business with him right there for sure.
Yeah, I like old Jim Bob. Brian, kind of give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, I I grew up right there east of Claremore by the Will Rogers Downs, and just had a small 40-acre tract mom and dad did, and we run a few cows and bought and sold some roping calves and baby calves growing up. But graduated high school. I got a full ride, educational scholarship and academic scholarship, and went there 2 years and then decided I wanted to go auctioneer, and got in with a gentleman I'm sure you all know really well, Brian Little, up at Coffeyville, Kansas. Brian took me under his wing and kind of showed me the ropes. And I pretty much never really went to an auction school, but just worked as I, learned as I went, and followed Brian around. And he let me sell the butcher hogs and butcher cows up there, and then sort out back. And then it just took off from there. I was blessed to. I worked a lot of barns. It's really hard profession to get into, as you guys know. But I don't know if lucky, blessed, I don't know what you call it, but I was sure fortunate enough to work in behind Justin Dotson, Brian Little, Kenny Wilcox, a lot of these guys that have been right there at the top of the world every year. And Brian's no longer with us, but sure think about him quite often. And I've sold, this is my 20th year. Behind the mic in the block selling cattle, and I work for Sam there along with my son Peyton, and that's what we do every Friday. So it's been good for me.
Deal. So let's dive right into A League of Their Own. Kind of, when I heard about it, I was like, huh, that's pretty neat, pretty cool deal. Then a mutual friend of ours reached out and called us one day, and that's how we kind of all met up and talked. But kind of, where did the concept come from? What made y'all want to step out and do this?
We kind of talked about it. Brian joked around a couple times about, we ought to have a competition here at Checotah, and the kind of a smaller type barn like we are. We never really seen it as an option, but we definitely, thought we wanted to entertain the idea of it anyway. And but a year went by from the first time we talked about it, and I don't know, an idea just kind of came into our minds about the head-to-head deal. A lot of it comes from rodeo background. I've rodeoed and roped my whole life, and always was, into the match ropings, whether it's team roping, calf roping, whatever it was, and just kind of thinking, one day is how we can incorporate that into this, auction competition. And this is what we came up with. And I came to Brian with it there. And you mentioned something to Brian Marlin, and it's going to go. This guy's a hustler, and he's going to push it, and that's what he's done. But as soon as we kind of came up with the concept and the layout of kind of what we had in mind, boy, it just kind of took off on its own and started rolling downhill with it there for sure. So
kind of, Brian, just kind of go in detail of how y'all done this first year, and about the matchups and how many world champions and how many great rookies that have been there, and just kind of go into a little bit of that.
Yeah, when we started, we didn't really know who we was going to get, how to pick it. There was a lot of questions, what do we do? How do we do it? But I just kind of reached out to guys that I'd competed against through the years, guys that had either won the world or been right there at the top year in and year out. And we come up with, we come up with 25 or 30, but we narrowed it down and got 18 of them. I think ended up this year with 9 world champions, 8 or 9 world champions, a couple of international champions, and it's a loaded field for the finals this year. When the smoke all cleared, I think there's 5 world champions, 2 reserve world champions, an international champion, and 2 guys that's been in the top 10s. That's what we're chasing. We're chasing after the best of the best, and I think you're seeing it full circle right through this contest this year.
Just to preface this, we are pre-recording this, and this is a Wednesday. We're doing it. The finals are this Saturday, but this podcast will come out the Thursday after the finals, so we don't know kind of how it turns out yet. But when this comes out, everybody will know the smoke could be cleared, and there will be a champion. What is that going to pay them this year?
Well, we talked about it in the beginning, but it's going to pay $25,000 to win it this year, $15,000 for second, and $10,000 for the third place winner. Sam, go ahead and elaborate kind of on. This is the largest, I think, payout ever in an auction contest, but there's more to it than just winning that day. And Sam will kind of explain that to you.
Yeah. So what we've done too is each of the 9 weeks, these guys that came, your winners won $1,000 every week. And the guy that was not fortunate enough to get it done that day, we still paid him $500. So we've already paid out $13,500 to these guys over the first 9 weeks of this deal. So we're going to have paid out over $63,000 to these guys with zero fees involved in this competition. So these guys, like I said, they didn't put any fees up to come. We do appreciate each and every one of them that's came and competed. And man, they've done a heck of a job. And we've sold a lot of cattle just as high as you can imagine. And it's drawn a lot of attention to the little barn right there in Checotah. And it's done us a lot of good, but it's done those auctioneers a lot of good as well. And we're excited to kind of expand on that going forward too. It's only going to get better.
Okay. Well, let's kind of dive right into the getting better part. I mean, y'all come to us and talk through a bigger contest, a contest that'll pay out like a substantial amount for the year 2027. We're going to wait till then just so we can get all the marketing and stuff done just right on it. Kind of going, I'll let y'all tell the story. I mean, this is y'all show. I'm just going to kind of ride your coattails. So.
Well, I'll be the first. I'm going to let Brian kind of go in depth on that. But, when we kind of got to talking about how many auctioneers we was looking at bringing in and how many barns it was going to take. And like I said, I'll let Brian get into all that. But I was a little bit of a naysayer myself as far as getting as many barns involved as what we have. And auctioneers as well. But I'll tell you, it's no problem. And a lot of it's to do with Brian Marlin sitting right here, and I'll let him get into the rest of it.
The biggest thing the thing we knew, if we wanted to operate and do what we wanted to do in the dream we had to have a bunch of barns, because we're charging these barns $10,000 to host a head-to-head contest. And so we wanted 66 auctioneers is kind of what we come up with. So we needed 33 barns. And so that's how a lot of this money's generated. And then we went a step forward, and we got guys from barns from the state of Florida all the way to the state of California, up through the Midwest, down into Texas. I mean, they're stretched all over the nation. And so that's what we're chasing. And then we decided we was going to go with a semifinal. So we're going to put these, and everything will be in a random draw, but these 33 barns will draw into 3 brackets, just like March Madness, what we just completed in the college basketball world. But they'll go into a semifinal round, and there'll be 3 barns and $30,000 to host a semifinal barn, and then we'll culminate with the finals. So it's going to be a huge payout we're going to pay 10 slots in the finals. So it's going to be one like no other.
Where are the finals going to be?
Can I say it now?
Yes, sir, you can.
We have locked in a contract in partnership with LiveAg, you guys, and we're going to Las Vegas, Nevada. And I don't know what that entails, because I've never been to Las Vegas. I'm going this year to follow you around, Ty, and your crew, and Sam's going to take me around, but we're going to host the contest. We're going to have a video auction in 27 at the Golden Nugget, and it's going to be neat, guys. I mean, it's going to be neat. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I was driving down the road, and Wade, Elisha called me. He said, "Hey," it might have been, I think it was like 10 o'clock at night. He called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "It's 10 o'clock at night, man." I said, I'm trying to sleep, but I wasn't. I was on the road. I said, "No, I'm driving down the road." He said, "Good, we need to talk." I said, "Okay, what you got?" He said, "You heard of that League of Their Own thing that they're trying to do up there in Oklahoma?" I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it. I think it's pretty cool." He said, "Well, good. You need to go meet with them." I said, "Well, for what?" He said, "Well, they got a big idea." I'm like, "Oh, yeah?" He said, "Yeah, like a big idea." I said, "Okay." We pondered on it for a little while, and I called Brian. I think I called Brian next day because I knew Brian. And we met up with, me and Jason drove to Oklahoma City and met up with Brian and Sam and kind of drew it out on a napkin and agreed to it and shook hands. And here we are. We're planning a sale, and we're having a sale. We're going to have our December sale will be this year in 2026. I think it's December 10th. We will be in Las Vegas at the Nugget to go and get our kind of a feet under us this year. And during the NFR finals, it will be slap dab in the middle. It's a Thursday before the Saturday finals. And then the following year, we will host the contest there at the Nugget. And it's going to be pretty cool. And when you talk about 66 auctioneers, the pool that they went through, Brian had a long list. And as you go down through that list, I'm gonna tell you, there's some firepower on there, and it's deep. I mean, it's 66 deep. It's not like you go through there and you can find a weak link. I mean, but matching them up head to head is pretty neat.
Parnell, trusted by cattle producers and veterinarians for over 30 years, manufactures its own premium quality, reliable veterinary generics for the U.S. cattle market. Introducing Nixie Floor, With 2 proven ingredients in 1 powerful dose, it fights infection and reduces fever. And with just 1 shot, you can see results in as little as 6 hours, helping cattle breathe easier, recover faster, and get stronger. Nixie Floor works as hard as you do.
We're going to do one thing we're going to do that we kind of kicked it around, but there's a lot of these young guys are so talented because, I mean, they've got YouTube, they got so much stuff that we didn't have, when we started, and to mimic and learn and this and that, all these different schools. But we're going to do we're going to do 2 qualifiers there at Checotah, and we're going to invite these younger guys that some of them probably has never been in a contest, but we're reaching out to some of these guys that we feel like can really battle. I mean, as of right now, we've got about 20 world champions on the list. I mean, it's we're going to take, I think, 52 at-large guys that's been in the contest year in and year out, that has a lot of experience. And then we're going to take 7 out of each quarterfinal or qualifier. So we're going to end up with 66, but we're going to let a lot of these young guys have a shot. And when I say young guys, there'll be some older guys too that are going to be in them qualifiers. And that's probably the way it'll be set from now on, is once you're in, you're in. And then as this deal grows, we'll just keep adding more guys through a qualifier. So you'll have
And
to
just
qualify.
to add something to that too, those qualifiers, we're going to have those 2 qualifiers, but the highest placing man that qualifies out of a qualifier in the actual contest is going to win 10,000. So say you come in, you win 3rd in the qualifier, and you qualify to be in the 66 Auctioneers, and you end up winning 10th overall in this contest, but you're the highest placing qualifier, we're going to pay him 10,000. Or maybe he don't even qualify for the finals. He's might have got out or got to a semifinal and was 1 hole out. But if he's the highest placing qualifier, he's going to win 10,000. So it's another neat deal there as far as the qualifiers go.
And there's some other stuff that they're in the process of doing where spectators can get involved too, and that's what's going to be pretty neat about the whole deal is how spectators can get involved and get involved in sharing some of the winnings and sharing some of the prize stuff. And Brian's got some big ideas, and he's just kind of got to get them put down on paper. But I think that's going to be pretty fun for us guys that's on the outside looking in, that want to kind of be involved and want to kind of keep up with it week to week when we do these the start with the 66 or the 33 barns, and it's going to be pretty fun.
It's going to be really neat. I'm telling you. We say build it and they'll come. We've built it. Didn't know what we were doing when we started, but and we still might not know everything, but we're gaining momentum as we speak, and that's what we want. So
yeah,
isn't that fun, dude?
We're gonna broadcast all of the 33 barns, and they will be broadcast on LiveAg's YouTube channel. The contest will be. So we'll have a landing page there on LiveAg, and a link on League of Their Own's social, and a link on League of Their Own's website, and that can get you to where you can watch all of the head to heads. They will be broadcast on LiveAg's YouTube channel.
That's awesome. Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be fun.
it's going to be neat.
When it comes to selling cattle, performance matters. That's why Biozyme Incorporated and LiveAg have partnered to bring more value to beef producers across the country. Cattle-fed VitaFerm and GainSmart products are backed by proven nutrition programs designed to support reproductive efficiency, feed efficiency, and overall herd performance. And now, through LiveAg's nationwide video auction platform, those nutrition-backed cattle are positioned in front of buyers who recognize the value of a documented premium feeding program. This partnership connects what happens in your pasture with what happens at sell time. Better nutrition, better documentation, increased market exposure. Talk to your Biozyme or your LiveAg rep, or visit your local dealer to learn how VitaFerm and GainSmart, paired with LiveAg marketing, can help your cattle stand out when it matters most.
And, he mentioned too, the money coming from the barns too, funding a lot of this, but also, we didn't feel like we wouldn't have felt right approaching these barns and asking for 10,000, just to hold a head-to-head battle, so what we've done there, to get them engaged and get them involved, so 7,500 of the 10,000 goes towards auctioneer's pot, but 2,500 of that goes to the barn pot. So we're not, holding anything out of that. So if you have a qualifier, so if your head-to-head battle winner goes on to win this whole deal, I don't have it wrote down here, but I think it's going to pay, what was it, 60,000, I think, for the sale barn. If your head-to-head qualifier ends up winning the whole deal, it's going to pay that sale barn to win that.
It's good. I'm telling you that what they come up with is it's going to be fun to watch. And
I'll say this: when you call these barns, we got 33 barns, and we got 2 other barns that are on waiting list. Easiest $10,000 investment or a sponsorship I've ever had the opportunity of selling. These guys when do you want us to start? I mean, they're all about it, and it's just a really, really neat concept is what we're doing.
Well, is there anything that we didn't cover? I'm excited. Y'all can tell I'm excited, and I can see that y'all are super. I know
Ty
y'all
said something to me at Denver about it when we were up there, and he's like, man, I got to tell you about this thing. I was like, man, you have another kid or something?
Yeah, it excited me. Yes,
yeah.
So, but
I think the neatest thing about the whole deal, you take 2 country boys from Oklahoma that, we sell cattle, and but we're just kind of getting our feet wet in this deal, and you take LiveAg kind of starting and getting their feet wet, and they're growing, and you take 2 young guys and you guys put together. I think this deal could just turn out to be really, really neat going forward. It's sky's the limit on everything. So
I know we talked that first day, and we talked about if you build it, they'll come. But we also talked about it if it's in God's hand that it's going to happen. So if we don't get in the way and we stand on the kingdom foundation and do it for that, which every time I've seen y'all's the contest y'all are doing, y'all always gave God the credit for everything that you're doing, and man, that's what it's all about. So if we'll continue down that path, if we'll continue to stand on the kingdom foundation, man, this thing will be. It'll bless some people in the ways they need to be blessed, and help some people that are in need, and I love it.
And that makes my heart so happy that you'd say that. I told you that the day we met. That's to me, that's what it's all about. We've been more vocal since all this started than I can't ever remember in a sale barn setting. And we're even Bubba Rutherford's even coming down the day of the contest on the finals. He was one of our judges, and he's actually going to share his testimony and share God's word 30 minutes before we start the sale. What more can you ask for? You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God, but it's sure a blessing, I'll tell you. So
yes, sir. Guys, we appreciate y'all. Before we go, anything else you want to touch on, Sam, Brian? I missed?
I think we're good. I appreciate
Sam, you will be on the Charlotte Advantage podcast, just so whenever that releases, I'll tell you what.
Cameo.
80 both.
Your head's going to pop in. Be sure you have your wife. Y'all are both going to be on it. Just want y'all to know that. Oh man.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys a lot. We appreciate y'all being on. We appreciate y'all trusting LiveAg and doing something like this to help y'all host this deal and to broadcast on our YouTube channels and help with the finals and all that, guys. We just can't thank y'all for trusting us enough. I think it'll be great growth for both parties. We appreciate it. For all y'all out there in social media land, if y'all have any questions for Sam or Brian, what is a email address that they can send anything to, or if they want to get involved or anything like that?
Go ahead, Sam.
Sam, what's your email address?
I was buffering for a minute there.
Okay. What's your email address, Sam?
Yeah, Checotah.livestock@gmail.com.
Okay. And anybody out there, we will have some marketing packages for this deal. All the marketing will be run through Brian or LiveAg or Sam or anybody. Y'all can get a hold of any of us. We are in the process of building those marketing package for this contest. So we are going to have sponsors. We will have sponsorship availabilities for that. If you want to reach out for one of those, you can email Keith at live-ag.com or reach out to live-ag or go on to live-ag.com website and find somebody there, and we'll dang sure help you out on your marketing and your sponsorship. So thank everybody for joining us. Appreciate all we all do for us. Don't forget, hit subscribe and like, and thank y'all. God bless.